What inmates eat in Supermax versus regular prisons. The tray that no one wanted. The food cart stopped in front of cell 312, and the entire tier went silent. A thick metal tray slid through the slot, but this one was different. No steam. No smell. No color. Just a cold, gray block wrapped in plastic. Inside ADX Florence, inmates call it the punishment loaf. The officer banged on the steel door and said only 2 words. Eat up. Inside the cell, an inmate stared at the block like it was a threat, not a meal. He tapped it with his finger, hard as a brick. He sniffed it, no smell at all. He broke a piece off, crumbled like dry sand. He whispered to himself, "Is this even food?" Before he could decide, shouting exploded from another cell. Another inmate refused his tray entirely, and officers rushed in with shields. A simple meal had just started a full-tier lockdown. The question that hit every viewer now: why does food in Supermax prisons look like this? And what do inmates in regular prisons eat instead? 2 worlds, 2 meals. Food behind bars is more than nutrition. It's power, punishment, comfort, control, and sometimes survival. But the truth is simple. Supermax prisons and regular prisons feed people in 2 completely different worlds. Let's start with Supermax, the highest level of security in the United States. Supermax meals, designed for control. In Supermax facilities like ADX Florence, inmates live in cells for up to 23 hours a day. Their meals must be fast to prepare, hard to misuse, easy to serve through a slot, impossible to turn into weapons, able to keep inmates calm, not excited. Meals arrive on hard plastic trays, usually lukewarm, because food cools as officers pass through miles of secure hallways. A standard Supermax tray might include a scoop of plain rice, a small rectangle of beans, a piece of fruit, baked chicken or soy patty, powdered drink mix. It's not meant to be enjoyed. It's meant to be controlled. And when an inmate breaks rules, refusing orders, fighting, destroying trays, the prison may switch them to neutral loaf, also known as disciplinary loaf, the punishment loaf. It's a dense mix of vegetables, flour, beef, and seasonings, all baked into a single hard block. It can't be thrown. It can't be shared. It can't be turned into alcohol. It simply exists. But here's where the story shifts. The moment you leave Supermax and enter a regular medium security or low security prison, the food world changes completely. Regular prison meals, more variety, more life. In a regular state or federal prison, inmates eat in a cafeteria, also called the chow hall. They walk in line. They pick up their trays. They sit at long tables. They actually talk, something Supermax prisoners don't get to do during meals. A typical regular prison meal might include beef stew with potatoes, spaghetti and tomato sauce, cornbread, steamed vegetables, a dessert like cake or cookies. Some prisons even serve chicken leg quarters, burritos, chili, hamburgers, eggs and toast for breakfast. And unlike Supermax inmates, people in regular prisons can sometimes work in the kitchen, seasoning food, baking bread, or serving meals. But the biggest difference? The cafeteria itself. A room filled with noise, movement, people arguing over seats, friends trading food. It's chaotic, messy, human. The exact opposite of the silent, locked-in-a-cell meals of Supermax. The real question. So why does the punishment loaf exist? Why is Supermax food so plain, controlled, and cold? To answer that, we must go deeper into the systems, rules, fears, and security levels that decide what inmates eat, and why food becomes a tool of order, conflict, and survival. The science of controlled food. In most parts of the world, food is comfort. In prison, especially Supermax, food becomes strategy. Every scoop, every portion, every calorie is designed to keep one thing stable: order. To understand why meals are so restricted in Supermax, we need to look at 3 forces that silently control the entire food system behind bars. 1. Security, the first rule of every tray. In Supermax prisons, officers must assume that anything, even a fork, can become a threat. So the food system becomes extremely strict. No metal utensils. No glass. Tokens. No containers strong enough to break. No bones in the meat. Nothing sharp. Nothing hard enough to carve. Even simple items like apples and oranges are sometimes banned because they can be turned into fermented alcohol. That's why meals come blended, portioned, and delivered through secure food ports. It's not personal. It's survival for staff and inmates. 2. Preventing misuse, the quiet battle behind meals. In regular prisons, inmates trade food like currency. Noodles, tuna, peanut butter, pastries, hot sauce packets. But in Supermax, trading is impossible. So the prison focuses on one thing: preventing food from becoming a weapon. In the past, some inmates used fruit to brew alcohol, plastic trays to block cameras, bones to sharpen into tools, sugar to attract insects, liquids to throw at officers. The more dangerous the inmate, the stricter the meal becomes. This is how the punishment loaf was created, not to harm inmates, but to prevent meals from being turned into tools. 3. Psychology, the unseen effect of a tray. Food affects mood. Mood affects behavior. Behavior affects safety. In regular prisons, inmates are allowed some variety, spaghetti one day, chicken the next, because routine helps calm people. But in Supermax, the goal is different. The food must not excite, energize, or spark conflict. So meals are predictable, steady, low stimulation, because something as simple as too much sugar has triggered fights in high-security prisons. Supermax food keeps everything neutral. No ups, no downs, just survival. A moment inside the cell. Let's go back inside ADX Florence. A tray slides into a cell. An inmate sits on the concrete bed, staring at his meal. Plain rice, soft vegetables, a soy patty, and a lukewarm drink. He's alone. No noise. No cafeteria. No voices. Just the hum of fluorescent lights. He takes a bite. Not because he's hungry, but because food marks the slow passing of another day. Now shift to a regular prison cafeteria. Noise floods the room. Trays slam. Voices echo. Someone complains about the beans. Someone else tries to trade cornbread for noodles. 2 worlds. 2 meals. 2 completely different experiences. What this means: Supermax food is built for safety, control, predictability, no conflict, no stimulation, 0 risk. Regular prison food is built for routine, keeping people calm, feeding entire populations with some variety, allowing trading and social behavior, cheaper bulk cooking. Same system, different purpose. But the real story gets deeper, especially when we look at how food shapes inmate behavior and why some prisoners in regular facilities would rather eat alone like those in Supermax. The chow hall, where food meets survival. In a regular prison, food isn't just about eating. It's about navigating one of the most unpredictable and sometimes dangerous environments behind bars. The chow hall. Imagine a room packed with hundreds of inmates, dozens of tables, officers watching every corner, trays sliding fast, voices echoing off concrete walls, rival groups sitting in specific sections. All this while everyone is trying to finish their meal in less than 15 minutes. This is where food becomes survival in ways Supermax prisoners never experience. Seating is power. In regular prisons, you don't just sit anywhere. Every table, every bench, every corner is controlled by long-time inmates, people with influence. New inmates learn quickly. Sit in the wrong spot, and you're in trouble. Supermax inmates never deal with this. Eating alone removes the social danger, but also removes the social comfort. Trading food, the prison economy. Regular prison inmates trade food like money. Honey buns, chips, snack cakes, peanut butter, fruit cups, leftover chicken, hot sauce packets. One honey bun might be worth favor, the haircut, help with cleaning, an extra t-shirt, even protection. Food becomes currency, and currency becomes power. Supermax prisoners? They can't trade anything. Their world is too controlled, too silent, too monitored. Conflicts start with trays. In the chow hall, arguments break out over the smallest things. Someone cuts in line. Someone takes too long. Someone spills juice. Someone gets the bigger chicken piece. Someone steps on a shoe. Someone stares too long. This is why officers in the chow hall move fast. Meals are scheduled. Lines are timed. Everyone must sit, eat, and leave. Supermax, however, avoids this entirely. By removing the cafeteria, they remove fights, arguments, tension, trading, social pressure. But they also remove conversation, friendships, human connection, the feeling of a normal meal. Two very different realities. The tray that tells a story. Let's picture two trays side by side. Supermax tray. Soft vegetables. Soy patty. Fruit cup. Plain drink. Lukewarm. Eaten alone. Inside a silent concrete cell. The tray is a symbol of control. Regular prison tray. Meat stew. Cornbread. Food. Mashed potatoes. Served in a loud, crowded cafeteria. This tray is a symbol of social life, both good and bad. But what happens when food creates peace? Here's something surprising. Some regular prisons use special menus to calm tension. Taco Tuesdays, chicken leg Fridays, holiday meals, birthday cakes for inmates who behave, extra portions for people in good standing. Food can calm a whole unit or spark a whole conflict. Supermax prisons also use food for behavior, but the opposite way. Good behavior equals normal tray. Bad behavior equals punishment loaf. A reward in one place. A warning in another. The big difference. In Supermax, food controls behavior through restriction. In regular prisons, food controls behavior through structure. One isolates. One socializes. But both systems rely on food to keep peace inside walls where peace is hard to find. In the next chapter, we go deeper into the kitchens themselves, where the meals are made, where inmates actually cook, and where some of the most shocking stories begin. Inside the prison kitchen, where the meals are born. Most viewers imagine prison food just appears on a tray. But behind every scoop of rice, every slice of bread, every spoon of beans, there's a hidden world that few people ever see. The prison kitchen. It's loud. It's hot. It runs before sunrise. And in regular prisons, not Supermax, a large part of the kitchen is run by inmates themselves. This is where the story becomes surprising. The kitchen crew, inmates with hairnets and responsibility. Every morning around 3:30 a.m., the prison kitchen wakes up. Officers unlock the doors. Lights slam on. And the crew comes in, inmates wearing white aprons, plastic gloves, slip-resistant boots. These jobs are considered good jobs inside prison because they come with early release credits in some states, small wages, extra food portions, respect among other inmates. But they also come with rules strict enough to rival military kitchens. The reality of prison cooking. Inside the kitchen, inmates prepare meals in huge industrial pots that can hold enough stew for hundreds of people. Food prep is done in a specific rhythm. One inmate chops vegetables. Two inmates cook rice. One mixes powdered milk. Two wash trays. A group prepares bread. Officers supervise everything from a secure booth. No knives are allowed. Chopping tools are locked to the table. Every utensil is counted before and after a shift. The biggest fear isn't bad food. It's missing equipment. What food looks like before it reaches the tray. Regular prison kitchens receive ingredients in bulk. 50-pound bags of rice. Giant boxes of frozen chicken. Industrial blocks of cheese. Powdered drink mixes. Canned vegetables. Huge trays of cornbread batter. Crates of apples and oranges. Meals are planned weeks in advance to stay within budget. Even though people imagine prison food is extremely low quality, many prisons actually follow state nutrition standards, around 2,400 to 2,800 calories a day. But the quality can depend on the budget, the warden, the food director, the staff. Some days are decent. Other days, inmates complain loudly. Supermax kitchens follow similar rules, but without inmate workers. Officers and civilian staff handle everything. The secret tension in prison kitchens. Because inmates run parts of the kitchen, surprising things can happen. Some inmates try to hook up better meals using spices smuggled in. Some secretly over-season food to make it taste better. Others create small conflicts over extra portions. Some steal bread or fruit when officers aren't watching. Officers stop these things when they see them, but kitchens move fast, and mistakes happen. This is why Supermax allows zero inmate involvement. Too much can go wrong. In Supermax, the meals are mass-produced, delivered through secure routes, never touched by inmates before serving. Everything is controlled from start to finish. The sound of the kitchen. Imagine this. Steam hissing, metal trays clanging, inmates shouting orders like a real restaurant, officers walking up and down with clipboards, huge fans humming nonstop, buckets of potatoes being washed, rice boiling in pots the size of small bathtubs. It's a world full of movement, but also structure. In regular prisons, the kitchen is one of the few places where inmates feel useful. They're cooking. They're serving. They're part of something. Supermax inmates never experience this. Their food is cooked far away from them. Delivered silently. Eaten alone. Two systems. Two purposes. Two realities. The question behind it all. If regular prisons rely on inmates to help feed thousands of people, and Supermax prisons rely on strict control, which system creates better meals? Which system creates safer environments? Which system treats food as survival? And which treats it as order? How inmates really feel about their food. Food may look simple on a tray, but inside prison, meals carry emotional weight that most people on the outside never think about. Some inmates hate the food. Some tolerate it. Some see it as the highlight of their day. Some see it as punishment. Some don't care at all. But one truth stands out. Food shapes the mental health of inmates more than anything else inside prison walls. Let's step into the minds of the people eating these meals, in both Supermax and regular prisons. Supermax, eating in silence. Inside a Supermax cell, mealtime arrives the same way every day. A steel slot opens. A tray slides in. The slot shuts. No conversation. No movement. No cafeteria noise. No chance to trade food or complain to someone about it. Just the inmate too, with a tray. Many inmates describe Supermax meals as bland, empty, the same thing every day. Something to fill the stomach but not the soul. The silence makes the food feel heavier. For someone eating in isolation, the soy patty tastes colder. The rice feels drier. The vegetables feel mushier. The fruit cup tastes too sweet or not sweet enough. Because they're not just eating food. They're eating loneliness, isolation, and routine. Regular prison, eating in the chaos of community. In regular prisons, food carries more emotion because meals involve people. Some inmates love chicken day. Some look forward to spaghetti. Some wait all week for cornbread. When the kitchen crew makes good food, everyone feels it. But the downsides are just as powerful. Cafeteria noise. Arguments. Long lines. Rushed eating. Seat politics. Food shortages on busy days. Complaints about soupy beans or watery eggs. Even though there's more variety and flavor than Supermax, regular prison inmates often complain more because they have something to compare it to. Supermax inmates don't. Food as comfort, a small piece of the outside world. Many inmates say food is the only thing that breaks the monotony of prison life. Something warm. Something sweet. Something different. Holiday meals especially carry emotional weight. Turkey on Thanksgiving. Stuffing. Mashed potatoes. Special desserts. Bread rolls. Even in strict prisons, holidays bring a moment where inmates feel human. Supermax prisoners get holiday meals too, but they're served through trays. Portions are smaller. Flavors are milder. No shared experience. It's hard to feel a holiday when you eat in a concrete box. Complaints, an important part of prison culture. Complaining about food is almost a tradition in regular prisons. Inmates complain about mystery meat, undercooked beans, tiny chicken pieces, too much salt, not enough salt, watered-down juice, dry bread, mushy carrots. But there's a deeper reason behind these complaints. Food is one of the few things they can talk about without getting in trouble. It's safe. It's common. It's relatable. It breaks tension. In Supermax, there's no one to complain to, which makes the food feel even more depressing. Food as a measure of time. Inmates often say, meals are the clock. Breakfast means a new day started. Lunch breaks the silence. Dinner means another day is almost over. Supermax inmates measure days by how many trays were served, how many bites they took, how long it took to finish the meal. Regular prison inmates measure time by what's being served that day, what day the commissary opens, what day chicken is served, what they can trade, what they plan to cook with commissary items. Food becomes a rhythm, sometimes comforting, sometimes stressful. The big difference in Supermax food feels like isolation. It's predictable, controlled, silent, lonely. Regular prison food feels like community. It's loud, emotional, shared, unpredictable. Both systems create strong feelings. Both shape inmate identities. The commissary, the real game changer of prison food. If the chow hall is the official place inmates get fed, the commissary is where the real eating happens. Every prison, from low security to Supermax, has a commissary system. But what inmates can buy, how much they can buy, and even why they buy certain things, changes dramatically depending on the prison. This chapter takes us into the world of prison shopping, a world that shapes power, comfort, creativity, conflict, and survival, far more than the meals served on a tray. What is commissary? Commissary is the prison store where inmates can buy extra food using money from family, friends, prison jobs, or savings. Most inmates wait for commissary day like it's Christmas. The list usually includes instant noodles, food, chips, tuna pouches, peanut butter, biscuits, instant coffee, powdered juice, cereal, chocolate bars, in some prisons, tortillas, small condiments, ramen seasoning packets. These items might look simple, but inside prison, they become everything. Supermax commissary, very limited. Supermax inmates do have commissary privileges, but the list is extremely restricted. To prevent food hoarding, making alcohol, using plastic bags for dangerous purposes, trading between cells, using wrappers to block cameras. So Supermax commissary items are usually plain cookies, powdered drink mix, basic snacks, hygiene items, paper goods, no large bags, no strong containers, no items that melt, no items that ferment. Even ramen is sometimes banned because it can clog toilets or attract pests. Supermax commissary is controlled, monitored, and limited. Regular prison commissary, a whole different world. In regular prisons, commissary is a major part of daily life. Inmates buy food to puzzle, start small businesses, create comfort meals, celebrate holidays, cook for their friends, survive when they hate chow hall food. Some inmates spend their whole week planning what they will cook with commissary. And yes, people cook in prison using papas, stingers, homemade heaters, boiling water, sinks, microwaves, if allowed. They make meals called spreads, chi-chi, hookups, ramen bombs, prison burritos, mackerel casserole. A simple pack of noodles becomes fried rice, pasta, gourmet soups, burritos, casseroles. Creativity becomes survival. Food becomes power in regular prisons. If you control commissary items, you control influence, favors, social circles, protection, small trades, Respect. A man with a locker full of noodles might be more respected than someone with nothing. But this can also lead to arguments, conflicts, tension, groups protecting their food, people stealing. In some prisons, commissary food creates more problems than chow hall food. Supermax avoids all of this by limiting commissary deeply. Commissary meals versus chow hall meals. Here's the shocking truth. Many inmates prefer their commissary meals over prison meals. But because it's food they chose, food they prepared, food they can season, food they can share. Regular prison inmates often say commissary meals taste like home, even if it's just ramen and tuna. Supermax inmates? They rarely get the chance to create anything. The system doesn't allow it. Commissary as emotional survival. Inmates don't just buy food to eat. They buy it because it reminds them of home. It helps them feel human. It gives them control in a place where they have none. It makes isolation less painful. It fills the long hours. It breaks the monotony. Food becomes comfort. A packet of noodles becomes warmth. A candy bar becomes a moment of escape. In Supermax, this emotional comfort barely exists. In regular prisons, it becomes a lifeline. A moment of contrast. Imagine two inmates, one in Supermax and one in a regular prison. In Supermax, he sits alone. No cooking tools. No microwave. No chance to make chi-chi. No group meals. No trading. Just a tray through the slot. In regular prison, he sits with friends around a table. They're mixing ramen, tuna, and chips into a big bowl. They're laughing, talking, arguing about flavor. Someone adds hot sauce. Someone says it's too salty. It tastes better than anything from the chow hall. Two meals. Two emotional worlds. The big question: if commissary gives inmates freedom, and chow hall gives them structure, and Supermax gives them control, which system is safer? Which system keeps peace? Which system gives dignity? Which system creates problems? Food behind bars, more than just a meal. Inside the world's prisons, from the loud, chaotic chow halls of regular facilities to the silent, controlled cells of Supermax, food is never just food. It becomes a message, a tool, a routine, a lifeline, a reminder that even in the harshest places on earth, people still need warmth, comfort, and connection. In Supermax, meals are built for one purpose: control. Plain trays. Quiet delivery. No choices. No cooking. No trading. No chaos. Just survival in a concrete box where routine replaces flavor and silence replaces community. In regular prisons, meals become a mirror of the social world inside the walls. The chow hall becomes a battlefield, a meeting place, a loud cafeteria full of movement, arguments, friendships, and food traded like currency. And commissary becomes something even more powerful, a way for inmates to create, to cook, to share, and to feel human again in a place designed to take that away. When you compare both worlds, one truth stands out clearly. Food shows the difference between isolation and society, between strict control and fragile freedom. A block of Nutriloaf in Supermax tells a story of discipline. A bowl of homemade ramen in regular prison tells a story of community. A tray sliding through a slot whispers loneliness. A crowded chow hall shouts survival. But no matter the prison, low, medium, high, or Supermax, meals reveal something deeper about life behind bars. Even in the toughest conditions, people find ways to hold on to small comforts, small routines, and small pieces of humanity. Food becomes that piece. It marks the passing of days. It shapes behavior. It builds tension. It builds community. It creates peace. It reminds inmates that they are still alive, still human, still capable of feeling something in a place designed to make them feel nothing. So when you ask, what do inmates eat in Supermax versus regular prisons? The answer isn't just about trays, menus, vegetables, or noodles. It's about two very different worlds, two systems, two realities of life behind bars. One defined by silence. One defined by noise. One built for control. One built for routine. Both held together by the same simple thing: A meal. Behind every tray is a story, and behind every story is a human being trying to survive the place they never planned to be.